Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor from 161 to 180 AD, is renowned not just for his rule, but for his contributions to Stoic philosophy. His reflections, compiled in Meditations, offer profound insights into how to live a virtuous life. Central to his teachings is the practice of silence, not merely as the absence of speech, but as a conscious and deliberate act of self-restraint and wisdom. In this extended discussion, we will explore 10 specific situations where Marcus Aurelius advises us to remain silent, examining the philosophical underpinnings and practical applications of this counsel. 1. When emotions are high context and reasoning. In times of emotional turmoil, our capacity for rational thought diminishes. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the importance of controlling our passions and maintaining a clear mind. Emotions like anger, fear, or excitement can lead us to say things we do not mean and later regret. The Stoic approach is to seek tranquility and equanimity, ensuring that our actions and words are governed by reason rather than emotion. Example: consider a heated argument with a close friend. In the heat of the moment, you might feel compelled to say hurtful things to win the argument. Instead, by choosing silence, you give yourself the opportunity to cool down, reflect on the situation, and respond in a way that is considerate and constructive. This not only prevents the relationship from deteriorating, but also fosters mutual respect and understanding. Practical application. To practice this, cultivate mindfulness and emotional awareness. When you feel emotions rising, take a deep breath and count to 10 before speaking. This brief pause can be enough to regain composure and choose your words wisely. 2. When you lack complete understanding, context and reasoning. Stoic philosophy places great value on knowledge and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius advises that speaking on topics we do not fully understand can lead to misinformation and misjudgments. It is a humble acknowledgement of the limits of our knowledge and an opportunity to listen and learn. Example: imagine you are in a discussion about a complex scientific topic that you are not well versed in. Instead of trying to contribute half-baked ideas, it is wiser to listen attentively, ask questions, and learn from those who have more expertise. This not only prevents the spread of misinformation, but also demonstrates humility and a genuine desire to understand. Practical application. In conversations, especially about specialized subjects, practice active listening. Focus on understanding rather than responding. When tempted to speak, ask yourself if your contribution is well-informed and necessary. If not, it might be better to remain silent and absorb the information. 3. In the presence of gossip, context and reasoning, gossip can be damaging and counterproductive. It often involves speaking ill of others, spreading rumors, and indulging in negativity. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics teach that engaging in gossip is contrary to the principles of virtue, truth, and integrity. Example: at a social gathering, you might find yourself among colleagues who start gossiping about a mutual acquaintance. Instead of joining in, you can choose to remain silent or redirect the conversation to a more positive and constructive topic. This stance not only protects the dignity of the person being gossiped about, but also reinforces your commitment to virtuous behavior. Practical application. When confronted with gossip, consciously choose to disengage. You can politely excuse yourself from the conversation or change the subject to something more uplifting. By doing so, you contribute to a more positive and respectful environment. 4. During conflict, context and reasoning. Conflict often escalates because both parties are focused on winning the argument rather than resolving the issue. Marcus Aurelius advocates for harmony and resolution over victory. Silence can be a powerful tool in de-escalating conflicts and fostering understanding. Example: in a workplace disagreement, tensions can run high and tempers can flare. Instead of insisting on your point of view and interrupting the other person, practice active listening. By remaining silent and truly hearing the other person's perspective, you can better understand their concerns and find common ground. This approach is more likely to lead to a constructive resolution than a heated argument. Practical application. Develop the habit of listening more and speaking less in conflicts. Focus on understanding the other person's viewpoint and acknowledge their feelings. This not only helps in resolving the conflict, but also strengthens relationships by showing respect and empathy. 5. When boasting context and reasoning. Boasting is often driven by ego and a need for external validation. Marcus Aurelius encourages humility and self-awareness. He reminds us that true worth comes from within and does not need constant affirmation from others. Example: after achieving a significant milestone at work, you might feel the urge to boast about it to your colleagues. Instead, allow your achievements to speak for themselves. Trust that your hard work and competence will be recognized without the need for self-promotion. This humility not only earns you more respect, but also keeps your ego in check. Practical application. Practice modesty by resisting the urge to boast about your accomplishments. Focus on doing your best work and let others recognize and appreciate your efforts. When discussing your achievements, be factual and avoid exaggeration. 6. In the face of provocation. Context and reasoning. Provocation is often designed to elicit a negative reaction. Responding to provocation with silence demonstrates self-control and denies the provocateur the satisfaction they seek. Marcus Aurelius teaches that our response to external events is within our control, and we should not allow others to dictate our emotions. Example: if someone insults you on social media, it can be tempting to retaliate with a harsh comment. Instead, by choosing to remain silent, you maintain your dignity and avoid escalating the situation. This response not only preserves your peace of mind, but also sets an example of restraint and maturity. Practical application. When provoked, take a moment to consider the potential consequences of your response. Ask yourself if reacting will improve the situation or simply add fuel to the fire. Often, silence is the most powerful and wise response. 7. When judging others. Context and reasoning. Judging others can lead to unfair conclusions and harm relationships. Marcus Aurelius encourages us to focus on our own behavior and strive for understanding rather than judgment. He reminds us that we all have our struggles and imperfections. Example: if a colleague makes a mistake at work, it's easy to jump to conclusions and criticize them. Instead, try to understand the circumstances that led to the mistake. Offer support and constructive feedback rather than judgment. This approach fosters a more supportive and collaborative work environment. Practical application. Before passing judgment, put yourself in the other person's shoes. Consider their perspective and the challenges they might be facing. This empathy can lead to more compassionate and fair interactions. 8. In situations of uncertainty, context and reasoning. Uncertainty can lead to speculation and hasty conclusions. Marcus Aurelius advises patience and caution in such situations. By remaining silent, we allow time for more information to emerge and can make better informed decisions. Example: in a rapidly changing work project, jumping to conclusions about the outcome can create unnecessary stress and confusion. Instead, wait for more concrete information before forming an opinion or making a decision. This patience can lead to more accurate assessments and better outcomes. Practical application. Cultivate patience in situations of uncertainty. Resist the urge to speculate or make premature judgments. Instead, gather as much information as possible and give yourself time to think before speaking or acting. 9. When seeking approval, context and reasoning. Constantly seeking approval from others can undermine our self-worth and authenticity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to be true to ourselves and not overly concerned with others' opinions. True contentment comes from within and is not dependent on external validation. Example: in a meeting you might feel the need to constantly seek approval from your boss or peers. Instead, focus on presenting your ideas confidently and authentically. Trust in your abilities and the value of your contributions. This approach not only boosts your self-confidence, but also demonstrates integrity and self-assurance. Practical application. Practice self-validation by recognizing your own worth and accomplishments. Focus on doing your best work and being true to your values rather than seeking constant approval from others. This internal validation is more enduring and fulfilling. 10. In reflection and meditation, context and reasoning. Silence is crucial for introspection and self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius often meditated on his thoughts and actions to align them with his Stoic principles. This practice of silent reflection helps cultivate self-awareness and personal growth. Example: set aside time each day for silent reflection. Consider your actions, decisions, and their alignment with your values and principles. This practice can reveal areas for improvement and reinforce your commitment to living a virtuous life. Practical application. Incorporate regular periods of silent reflection into your daily routine. Use this time to review your day, assess your actions, and plan for self-improvement. This practice can enhance your self-awareness and help you stay true to your Stoic principles. Conclusion. Marcus Aurelius's teaching on the importance of silence in specific situations remains profoundly relevant today. By embracing silence, we can navigate our lives with greater wisdom, composure, and integrity. This Stoic practice helps us cultivate inner peace, improve our relationships, and lead more fulfilling lives.